What's your best relationship advice? Talk to them when you're upset. They can't read your mind. If you hold all your negative thoughts inside, it will just make you feel bitter about everything until it stops working. My problem is not knowing whether the problems I create in my head are just me being crazy or if they are actually justified. Then you talk with your soul and mention that you're not sure if it's justified or not. They should reassure you and understand either way, smiley face. And if they don't, or use it as a reason to blow up on you, then just cut and run. Find someone who you can go on vacation with. It sounds easy. However, if there's someone that you don't want to get rid of at the end of a vacation, you're probably okay with them. It's funny. I knew I deeply loved my now husband when we went away for the weekend, and I missed him when he dropped me off at home. After. Good point. The opposite is the reason I knew I needed to break up with the last girl I dated. She went on a week-long vacation, and I remember thinking the day she got back that I really wasn't that excited to see her. Ouch. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Hope you found someone more compatible. When it comes to fights, have the memory of a goldfish. For the good stuff, the memory of an elephant. And never keep score. You're a team. Also, if you are in an actual fight, it's better to be an elephant. They are huge and super strong. You and your partner should also be best friends. Straight up opinion. But I think a lot of people forget that your soul really should be someone you love spending time with, not someone who is just there to say they're your significant other. Things take time, hard work, and dedication. The spark is going to die after the honeymoon phase. Don't take that as a give-up sign. Take it as a sign to try to bring a new spark in, and nobody can tell you how to live your life. Not even them. Make sure you know what toxic signs are and don't justify anything. Difference between infatuation and love is the same difference between motivation and discipline. Infatuation and motivation are both fleeting. They come in strong and then suddenly go. Discipline and love are active choices. You buy into it, you build it, and then you ride it out through the good and bad. This is very insightful, and something that I think I've always believed, but never verbalized. Thanks for sharing. My recent girlfriend broke up with me after the honeymoon phase because she said she didn't have the same feelings as she did at the beginning. Frick me. It's rough, but probably for the best if you're willing to put in that time and energy, and she's not. Be happy on your own. Don't rely 100% on your relationship if you need happiness. There is always a time where you are on your own and you need to pleasure yourself. Before I entered my relationship, I was very independent, but felt lonely. Now I don't feel lonely anymore, but a bit less independent. My emotions are kind of at the mercy of my relationship sometimes. If I attempt to take a step back, I get worried that I may not be putting enough effort, which could damage the relationship. How do I go about becoming a bit more independent? Having my emotions be less at the mercy of my girlfriend, whilst also maintaining healthy distance with her. Not an expert at all, but here are my thoughts. Do you guys spend a lot of time hanging out together? Do you have separate hobbies or friends? Having independent aspects of your lives, if you don't have many already, might make it easier for you to spend time together while you are in different moods. Also, do you find if you or your girlfriend are unhappy, the other tends to become unhappy too? For example, I think acknowledging how your partner is feeling is important, but it's rarely important to emulate those feelings as much as it is to understand them and accept them. Is that the kind of dependence you were talking about? I can't stress this enough. After years of codependent relationships, being in a relationship where my partner expects me to be my own person outside of them and do my own stuff has been a revelation. And there's loads of things I wish I could have done with and by myself when I was younger. Still doing them now, but wish I had gotten into the hobbies at a younger age so I could have more knowledge of the man, a longer time being self-stable. Looking into your future and imagining living your whole life without a romantic partner shouldn't be as depressing as everyone makes it out to be. Yeah, romance annex is awesome, absolutely. But so are you and all the things you could be doing. When you're in a relationship, make sure that you're staying in it for the right reasons. If you're staying for security, convenience, because you're afraid of being alone, or anything of that nature, then just leave. Don't let yourself be that sad guy who hates his wife, but stays with them forever. Adding to this, because you don't want to hurt the man you don't think you should be unhappy. First off, you're going to hurt them eventually. It's going to happen. Pull off that band-aid. Don't spend months being unhappy, because you're afraid to be mean. Breaking up isn't mean. Lying to someone that you have feelings for them when you don't is mean. And secondly, if you're unhappy, you're unhappy. Even if the reason is really dumb. Even if the reason is you don't find them attractive and that makes you feel like a shallow itch. Sorry man, you're unhappy. And hating yourself for being unhappy is making you more unhappy. This is just my personal experience. Above all, be yourself. Don't get caught up in trying to be somebody you think others want you to be. Unless yourself is an AOL, in which case be a better version of yourself. That's a good piece of advice that was given to me a little while back. Unless yourself is an AOL. I mean, if you look at yourself and genuinely come to the conclusion that you're an AOL, you should probably work on trying to improve yourself before you look for a serious relationship. Remember, during fights, disagreements, it's not you versus your so. It's you and your so versus the problem. I totally agree. In a lot of cases this requires a lot of humility though, in my experience. I've had some temper problems in the past. It's me and my so versus my character flaw. I'm glad she was willing to correct me and help me grow up. Instead of just saying goodbye right away, I'm glad I had the courage to admit I'm flawed. It's me and her versus her flaws. Know each other's love language, as everyone is different in what ways make them feel loved. There's a good book on this called The 5 Love Languages. Short read. Really helped me and my wife to understand the way we show each other love. For anyone wondering, but not willing to buy a whole book, or look it up, here's a short summary. People show and respond to affection in different ways. A guy called Gary Chapman wrote a book saying there are 5 main ways of doing this, and most people have one main way of showing affection and one secondary way. The others are still useful, so don't neglect them, but they might not be recognized as affectionate acts. Some people don't like some types of affectionate act. Kind words, e.g., I love you, you look nice today, you're a great Formula 1 driver, etc. Quality time, spending time alone, together, date stuff, quite often, dinner together, watching a movie or having a meaningful conversation, or for some just sitting and reading quietly in the same room. Gifts, some people like being given stuff, maybe jewelry, maybe a new lawnmower, maybe flowers or a handmade friendship bracelet or some cookies. It's not all about obtaining physical wealth, but the thought that goes into getting someone a gift. Acts of service, really kinky BDSM types. Not really though. People like when someone offers to do something for them as an immaterial form of generosity. Fixing their computer, driving them to work or the airport, doing the dishes when it's not your turn, etc. Physical contact. Some people like hugs, cuddling, holding hands and stuff. And for others this extends to straight up frickin', because it's fun and good. You can read as deeply or not into this as you like, as it's not scientific fact at all, but it is a useful way of looking at things. You can categorize different things as though he likes blowjobs, because it's an act of service and physical contact, or girls love it when you cook them a meal, because it's quality time and a gift and service, or just Julie likes it when I tell her how pretty she is. To add, a lot of people confuse the gifts language as materialism. It is not. It can be as simple as I'm really craving for pizza right now. I only have 2 slices, but I'll give one to you anyway, because I want you to enjoy it too. Yes, on one of our first dates my now boyfriend and I went out to an Italian restaurant. He let me try a bite of his ravioli that he told me to get and I ignored, and then traded dishes with me so I could have the other half while he finished my Alfredo that I didn't like. It honestly was the sweetest, most thoughtful gesture, and he still teases me about it. But those seemingly little gestures really have an impact. Got a crush on someone you fancy? Yesterday was the best day to tell them. You never know if they could go missing and never be found again. I love the, only slightly related, sorry, saying I read somewhere on Reddit. The best time to plant an olive tree is 30 years ago. The next best time to plant one is right now. Jack the Ripper? Is that you? I never duddy. If you can't make yourself happy, they won't be able to make you happy either. I second this. Got extremely close to someone with depression and mental illnesses. They refused to get any help, saying they didn't want someone else telling them how to live their life. My dumb ass didn't see the huge red flag and thought I could bring the happiness. I couldn't. Adding to this, as someone who was once that depressed person dating someone who was also that depressed person, we made each other feel amazing. Then the honeymoon phase ended and oh boy, the mutual toxicity was astounding. It was a very brutal learning experience for me, but I'm grateful for the fact it happened and I was able to come out of it a better individual. Even if she says she doesn't want anything, get her a small fry anyway, so she won't eat yours. Just order your fries one size up, will make her feel less guilty. She doesn't want to feel like she's eating a full order of fries, and is usually cheaper, and you don't look like a control freak. Did that, she ate all of them anyway. I already get a large though. Start farting around her ASAP. I've been with my wife for like 13 years and I've never knowingly farted around her. I have to freaking get up and leave the room to do it. It's been going on for so long that it would just be so damned awkward if I started doing it now. I done fricked up. To anyone a little nervous about pulling the trigger on this, consider just blaming your farts on your dog, even though it was very obviously you. It detracts from the embarrassment a little and encourages both of you to laugh about it. My husband and I have been blaming every noticeable fart and burp on the dog for the last 12 years even though the dog died 2 years ago. Rest in peace, Fart Dog. That dog is an American hero. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.